Hello, JavaScripters. Bruce here with some more pure JavaScript type of demos. Okay, so no jQuery here. I have a page that has an unordered list on it. I have a content div here which currently has nothing in it, and I have 3 buttons. The first of the 3 buttons says add a new paragraph to the content div. The second says add an item to the bottom of the list. And the third says add an item to the top of the list. Now, again, we're not using jQuery, and essentially we are going to be manipulating the DOM, right? Okay. So again, no jQuery here. So we're going to use our tools, what we've learned in prior videos. Okay. Sip of coffee time. Hold on. Coffee. Okay. So the first one says add a new paragraph to the content div. So let me finish my demo. There it is. It's the end of the world as we know it. I'll be fine, right? REM. And the next one says add an item to the bottom of the list. So order is the last thing, and now it says this is a new list item. Again, we are not updating the page here. Notice you'll see that this refresh thing does not move when I click things. And the next one says add an item to the top of the list. And there it is. It says I am first. So how did we do all this stuff, right, with no jQuery, right? And by the way, if you read and you did the examples in Chapter 4, you would have learned how to do this in jQuery, okay? I think in the pull quote demo, they talked about adding elements before and after other elements. So we are going to see how to do this in regular JavaScript, okay? So I'm going to bring up Sublime Text, which has my page on it. Look at that. I left this cruff in here. Let me get rid of that. Okay. And here it is. We just very simple markup here, nothing special. So I have a bunch of buttons with on-click events, and you'll be learning how to add these the jQuery way and the JavaScript way this week. So stay tuned. And just know, button on click, we're calling a JavaScript function called add paragraph, and we're passing in a string called content. The next one says on click, add list item list, and then add list item before, and then list. Now these are functions I wrote. Okay, they are part of a script, right? Where did we call our script? Right here. Okay, right down here. I am calling in the script and src javascript dom.js. Okay, there it is. Okay, so I am going to bring up my script here. Okay, and you can see here I have a few. Actually, I have a whole bunch of other stuff above it, but that's part of another project you're going to be doing. And I have something called add paragraph, right? And if you remember what add paragraph did, if we go back here to the HTML, we have on line 22 and 23, right, this blank div here with nothing in it. And the purpose of the script, right, is to add HTML in there, right? Add a paragraph, right? So let's do it. Let's take a look. Okay, so on line 186, add paragraph, and we take in the parameter element parent. Okay, so who's your daddy, right? Who is your daddy? And if we go back here, right, we say content. Okay, so the parent of this new thing we're going to add paragraph, is going to be content. So looks like we're going to be putting something in here, right? Okay, next. Let me make this bigger. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is get element by ID. So we're going to get a handle, right, to the element parent, which happens to be content, and we store that in a variable. And then we are going to issue what's called create element. Okay, this is part of JavaScript, and it allows you to create a new DOM element, and we are going to create a paragraph. There you go. And we're going to assign that to a variable called new para. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take that newly created paragraph, right, and we're going to set its inner HTML to it's the end of the world as we know it. I'll be fine. And then we are going to take the content, right, this thing up here that we got, right here, and we are going to append child. This is, right, another function you can do in JavaScript. You can append, right, to the parent a child element, right, and we're going to stick in there this new para. Okay, so new para is set as an element, a p tag element with a closing element, and we're setting its inner HTML. And this will take care of inserting the paragraph tag, the content that you want, the markup in here, the inner HTML, and then it will put it right where you tell it to. Okay, how's that? That's pretty neat, right? Again, you should learn how to do this in jQuery by studying Chapter 4. Okay, so there you go. That's adding the paragraph. Let's go back to Chrome, and I can refresh the page just so you can see it one more time. Refresh, and boom, there it is. Okay, if we look, right, if we inspect, view page source. Actually, no, I wanted to turn on the developer tools, not page source. Okay, and go under elements. Okay, and go under add new paragraph, right? So if I go down here, doink, and doink, there is our p tag, right? It's the end of the world as I know it. I'll be fine. I hit this twice, right? It keeps adding it, right? Because it takes and keeps building, right? Adding child elements to the content, right? It doesn't care how many are there. It's just appending a new one on, okay? Pretty neat, right? Good. I'm glad you like it. Next, add an item to the bottom of the list. Okay, so you should be thinking in your head, how could I do this? And it's really not that hard. Again, I created my own function called add list item, and we're passing it in the parent. At least I call it element parent here. And the element parent for this particular page, right, is list. And if we look at the list here, here it is, right? ID list, okay, because again, let's look here, and we are getting the element by ID here, and the element parent is list, and then we are creating, let me just make it bigger, a new list item, and we are doing just like we did before. We are creating an element that happens to be a list item, okay. What happened here? Did I make a typo here? Document.element. Oops. Sorry about that. I'm being a spaz. Get element. What's get element by ID? Wow, what happened here? I totally screwed this up. Oh, there we go. Get element by ID. Sorry about that, everybody. Okay, add list item. There we go. I screwed things up. So let's go through it again. Here's the function, add list item, element parent. We're getting a handle to the list. We are creating a new list item, and we're assigning it to a variable. We are setting the inner HTML and for that new list item, and then we are appending the child, right, to the list, and we're appending on the new list item, which happens to be that li element. So that's pretty neat. So you may want to, stop and pause and look at the code and go over it. And again, this is really common, JavaScript stuff, so you'll find it all over the web. Okay? Now, the next thing, okay, again, I think I screwed this up here. I don't think that was X. Oh, it looks like X. Look at that. Okay, so this one says function add list item before. So what this needs to do, right, is go to the very top of the list and add an item, right? This add list item added it at the bottom. So let's take a look here. Var list, right, this gets a get element by ID X, which happens to be the list, right, the ID of the list. And then we're saying take that list and get element by tag name li. So now we're reaching inside and looking for all the li elements, and it's going to give us, in our case, a collection of them, so more than one. And then we are going to create a new list item element and call it new list item. And we're going to set its inner HTML. And then what we're going to do here, check this out. We're going to say list. This is the handle to the list. insert before, okay, this is the new list item that we're going to create, and this is what we want it to come before. So this happens to be the sub-0, the first list item, okay? Again, you're probably going to want to play this back a couple times and go over it. This is the JavaScript way to do it, and you need to know how to do this, because I can tell you, you're gonna need to, because you're just not gonna have jQuery goodness every time you need it. Okay, so I hope this helps. Ask questions. Take care.